Hello, it's Richard Wilson, and this short video is on due diligence phone calls. I'm here in Madrid, Spain, producing some training materials for clients, and I got an email this morning from someone who read one of my articles in the blog about how you have to get good at doing conference calls while going through due diligence to work with new investors. And his question was, what does conference calls have to do with due diligence processes? And I think what you'll find is that the more institutional the investor you're working with, and the larger the investor you're working with, the more they're going to require a multi-step due diligence process before they invest in you. And one of the very first steps, step 1 or 2, is going to be doing a 40-minute to 1 hour plus conference call with you. During that conference call, you'll cover typically your team bios, usually your PowerPoint presentation or your pitch book for your fund, and then they might stop you during your pitch book presentation and ask you questions about your trading strategy, and then at the end, they'll probably ask you a bunch of very detailed questions about your track record, how you manage a portfolio, how you manage risk, what would happen in such and such situation, etc., etc. So it's very critical that you understand that getting good at conference calls is an important part of working with institutional investors. So at some point, you're going to have very organized bullet point lists or some sort of script to work off while presenting your pitch book, and get good at being on the phone with analysts who are going to try to pick apart your strategy over the phone to see if what you're doing is consistent and based on a system, or are your returns based on luck and some fortunate market timing. So I hope this helps explain how due diligence phone calls work and just how they kind of fit into the due diligence process while you're working with investors. This is a pretty basic concept, but I know that the question comes up with people starting funds or just starting to work with institutional investors. Thanks for joining me. It's Richard Wilson, and we'll see you next time.